Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Communicate with, in writing. Produce a literary work. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. Write music. Record data on a computer. Communicate or express by writing. Create code. Write a computer program. She writes code faster than anybody else. Mark or trace on a surface. Communicate with, in writing. Make up plans or basic details for. Produce a literary work. She composed a poem. Put together out of existing material. Write music. Beethoven composed 9 symphonies. Calm someone, especially oneself, make quiet. She had to compose herself before she could reply to this terrible insult. Form the substance of. Greed and ambition composed his personality. Produce a literary work. A correctional institution for those convicted of major crimes. Produce a literary work. A portable enclosure in which babies may be left to play. An enclosure for confining livestock. A writing implement with a point from which ink flows. Female swan. Indicate or signify. I'm afraid this spells trouble. A verbal formula believed to have magical force. He whispered a spell as he moved his hands. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. He spelled the word wrong in this letter. A psychological state induced by, or as if induced by, a magical incantation. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A spell of work. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. A spell of good weather. Orally recite the letters of or give the spelling of. How do you spell this word? Place under a spell. Relieve someone from work by taking a turn. She spelled her husband at the wheel. Take turns working. The workers spell every 4 hours. Make unnecessary an expenditure or effort. This will save money. Accumulate money for future use. He saves half his salary. Refrain from harming. Record data on a computer. Save from sins. Retain rights to. Save from ruin, destruction, or harm. To keep up and reserve for personal or special use. She saved the old family photographs in a drawer. Spend sparingly, avoid the waste of. This move will save money. Bring into safety. Spend less. Buy at a reduced price. Sports, the act of preventing the opposition from scoring. The goalie made a brilliant save. Put into writing. Write in complete form. Write out a contract. Make out an issue. Write out a check. Be equivalent or parallel in mathematics. Take the place of or be parallel or equivalent to. Be compatible, similar or consistent. Coincide in their characteristics. Exchange messages. My Russian pen pal and I have been corresponding for several years. Create with or from words. Put in order or neaten. Make the bed. Eliminate urine. Have a bowel movement. Institute, enact, or establish. Make laws. Create by artistic means. Make by combining materials and parts. Give certain properties to something. Don't make this into a big deal. Create or design, often in a certain way. Charge with a function. Charge to be. Induce to have sex. Head into a specified direction. Achieve a point or goal. Earn on some commercial or business transaction. Earn as salary or wages. How much do you make a month in your new job? Represent fictitiously, as in a play, or pretend to be or act like. She makes like an actress. Proceed along a path. Make one's way into the forest. The act of mixing cards haphazardly. Reach a goal. Make the first team. Organize or be responsible for. Have, throw, or make a party. Give rise to. Cause to happen or occur, not always intentionally. Make a stir. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. Make an estimate. Reach a destination, either real or abstract. Engage in. Make love, not war. Cause to do. Cause to act in a specified manner. Prepare for eating by applying heat. Can you make me an omelet? A recognizable kind. What make of car is that? To compose or represent. This makes a fine introduction. Make or cause to be or to become. Make a mess in one's office. Create or manufacture a man-made product. Act in a certain way so as to acquire. Make friends. Add up to. 4 and 4 make 8. Amount to. This salary increase makes no difference to my standard of living. Appear to begin an activity. Assure the success of. A good review by this critic will make your play. Behave in a certain way. Make merry. Be or be capable of being changed or made into. He makes a great host. Be suitable for. Wood makes good furniture. Calculate as being. I make the height about 100 feet. Carry out or commit. Make a mistake. Cause to be enjoyable or pleasurable. Make my day. Change from one form into another. Make water into wine. Compel or make somebody or something to act in a certain way. Heat makes you sweat. Consider as being. Constitute the essence of. Clothes make the man. Develop into. He will make a splendid father. Favor the development of. Practice makes the winner. Form by assembling individuals or constituents. Gather and light the materials for. Make a fire. Make by shaping or bringing together constituents. Make a dress. Perform or carry out. Make a decision. Reach in time. Undergo fabrication or creation. This wool makes into a nice sweater. Create by artistic means. Create a poem. Make or cause to be or to become. Create a furor. Create or manufacture a man-made product. Bring into existence. The company was created 25 years ago. Invest with a new title, office, or rank. Pursue a creative activity. Be engaged in a creative activity. Measuring instrument consisting of a narrow strip, cloth or metal, marked in inches or centimeters and used for measuring lengths. The carpenter should have used his tape measure. A recording made on magnetic tape. The several recordings were combined on a master tape. Register electronically. Record on videotape. Memory device consisting of a long thin plastic strip coated with iron oxide, used to record audio or video signals or to store computer information. He took along a dozen tapes to record the interview. A long thin piece of cloth or paper is used for binding or fastening. He used a piece of tape for a belt. Fasten or attach with tape. Tape the shipping label to the box. The finishing line for a foot race. He broke the tape in record time. Register electronically. They recorded her singing. Sound recording consisting of a disc with a continuous groove, used to reproduce music by rotating while a phonograph needle tracks in the groove. Indicate a certain reading, of gauges and instruments. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. Al Smith used to say, "Let's look at the record." Be aware of. The sum of recognized accomplishments. The lawyer has a good record. A list of crimes for which an accused person has been previously convicted. He ruled that the criminal record of the defendant could not be disclosed to the court. Make a record of. Set down in permanent form. A document that can serve as legal evidence of a transaction. They could find no record of the purchase. An extreme attainment. The best, or worst, performance ever attested, as in a sport. He tied the Olympic record. Anything, such as a document or a phonograph record or a photograph, providing permanent evidence of or information about past events. The film provided a valuable record of stage techniques. The number of wins versus losses and ties a team has had. At 9-0 they have the best record in their league. Transmit thoughts or feelings. Be interconnected, afford passage. These rooms intercommunicate. Transmit thoughts or feelings. He communicated his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Transmit information. Please communicate this message to all employees. Receive communion, in the Catholic Church. Transfer to another. Communicate a disease. Administer communion. In church. Be in verbal contact. Interchange information or ideas. He and his sons haven't communicated for years. Join or connect. The rooms communicated. Create mentally and abstractly rather than with one's hands. Create mentally and abstractly rather than with one's hands. Give a description of. Identify as in botany or biology, for example. To give an account or representation of in words. Discreet Italian police described it in a manner typically continental. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Show the form or outline of. Determine the essential quality of. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Represent it accurately or precisely. Trace the shape of. Describe in vivid detail. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker, in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove, a commodity, from, a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood. The methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. Persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. To go back over again. We retraced the route we took last summer. A suggestion of some quality. A just detectable amount. He speaks French with a trace of an accent. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Trace the outline of a figure in the sand. Pursue or chase relentlessly. The hunters trace the deer into the woods. An indication that something has been present. There wasn't a trace of evidence for the claim. Follow, discover, or ascertain the course of development of something. Trace the student's progress. Read with difficulty. The archaeologist traced the hieroglyphs. A drawing created by superimposing a semi-transparent sheet of paper on the original image and copying on it the lines of the original image. A visible mark, as a footprint, left by the passage of person or animal or vehicle. Copy by following the lines of the original drawing on a transparent sheet placed upon it. Make a tracing of. Trace a design. Discover traces of. She traced the circumstances of her birth. Either of 2 lines that connect a horse's harness to a wagon or other vehicle or to a whiffletree. Make one's course or travel along a path. Travel or pass over, around, or along. The children traced along the edge of the dark forest. Put into writing. Write in complete form. A short account of the news. Bring to public notice by writing, with praise or condemnation. Put into dramatic form. Adopt a book for a screenplay. Take into one's family. They adopted 2 children from Nicaragua. Choose and follow. As of theories, ideas, policies, strategies or plans. Take up and practice as one's own. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. He adopted an air of superiority. Take on titles, offices, duties, responsibilities. Take up the cause, ideology, practice, method, of someone and use it as one's own. They adopted the Jewish faith. Provide interlinear explanations for words or phrases. He annotated on what his teacher had written. Add explanatory notes to or supply with critical comments. The scholar annotated the early edition of a famous novel. Someone who originates or causes or initiates something. Writes, books or stories or articles or the like, professionally, for pay. Be the author of. She authored this play. Refer to for illustration or proof. A short note recognizing a source of information or of a quoted passage. Advance evidence for. Repeat a passage from. Call in an official matter, such as to attend court. Refer to. Make reference to. Commend. He was cited for his outstanding achievements. Write down hastily. Write quickly. A large and hurried swallow. The act of moving a load by drawing or pulling. A preliminary sketch of a design or picture. Compulsory military service. A serving of drink, usually alcoholic, drawn from a keg. They served beer on draft. A dose of liquid medicine. He took a sleeping draught. Draw up an outline or sketch for something. Draft a speech. A document ordering the payment of money, drawn by one person or bank on another. Engage somebody to enter the army. Any of the various versions in the development of a written work. A preliminary draft. Make a blueprint of. The depth of a vessel's keel below the surface, especially when loaded. A current of air, usually coming into a chimney or room or vehicle. A regulator for controlling the flow of air in a fireplace. Put into dramatic form. Add details to. Represent something in a dramatic manner.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.